I'm Bernita Expert Amanda Murphy, and these are my semicircle quilting rulers. I'll be showing two sets in this video. Set 1 is smaller, and set 2 is larger, and together they span circles from 1.5 to 9 inches. So first, I'd like to show you how these work together. So I'm starting with the smallest ruler in set 1, and this quilts a 1.5 inch circle. So I quilted halfway around the circle, and now I'm quilting the other half of the circle. Still staying with set 1, I'm going to quilt a 2-inch circle. And the straight lines of the ruler are lying over the drawn line on my fabric. Still in set 1, I'll quilt the 2.5 inch circle, and then the 3-inch circle. So this is all in set 1. And if I then use the outside of set 1, there'd be a jump in size. So I'm going to switch over and quilt the internal shapes from set 2. And if I stick to the internal shape, that's my next size of circles. So basically, the smallest circles are the internal shapes in set 1, and then the internal shapes in set 2, and then the external shapes in set 1, and then the external shapes in set 2. So they all work together to give you a full range of shapes. And what's really great about the semicircles is you do not have to start inside a hole in the ruler to quilt an internal shape, which is great for you guys who work on machines where the presser foot doesn't lift. Okay, so now I'm ready to quilt around the external shape from set 1. We're going to run out of fabric here, so I'm going to switch to a different design, but now you know how the sizing works. Now let's create some designs. So I've already stitched a 2-inch channel here, and I have chosen to use my 1.5 inch circle because I'm going to quilt a line of perfect pebbles or perfect circles. So with this ruler, what I recommend is you do a first pass and you quilt under and then over the quilting template. Under and then over. And you might notice the straight lines on my template that go through the middle of the circle are lining up over that line that I've drawn in the fabric. Now, I'm going back the other direction, filling in the other half of the semicircles. And the black curved lines on the template go over my previous quilting lines. So I would have gone all the way across the channel, except I want to show you another design. The reason I quilt the top half and then the bottom half of the circles is because it's easier than quilting all the tops and all the bottoms and trying to make the points meet. Okay, so over here, we'll do something a little different. We'll bring over our semicircle, and I'll use the straight line to do a connecting line. So you can do a full circle. I'm actually going to do a circle and a half to get to the other side of the line, and then do a straight line again. This is just another variation to fill sashing. So you can easily do a line of circles no matter what the size. In this next channel, let's create a line of scallops. So this is the perfect size for this channel. I still have some clearance at the top, and the straight lines on the ruler are going over the edge of my sashing or my channel. Let's do another pass of scallops evenly spaced between this one. When I do that, I like to use one of my other straight rulers to mark the center of all the semicircles that I just quilted. So I'm using my multi-tool to do that. Make a line right in the middle of that semicircle, and that helps keep me on track. So now we'll quilt down to the kind of the middle bottom here, and we'll quilt another pass of semicircles. So I want to make sure that the edge of my ruler is 1/4 inch away from that mark I just made. so that I get this second pass evenly centered in the middle of the first. I am on a sit-down Bernina Q series, so I have two hands on the template instead of one. If I was on my frame, I would have just one hand on the template and be driving the machine with the other hand. And I would probably quilt halfway across at a time. Now let's make semicircles on either side of a border. This is a very, very common design. So I always choose a semicircle that goes more than halfway across the border. And I make the semicircles on one side of the border here. I like to take a straight line ruler, like my multi-tool, and make a little mark at the top of the border where those intersections are, so that if my ruler slipped, I can accommodate that. I don't get off course. So I'll go roughly to the mirror image of where I ended across the channel, quilt down to that mark. And if my ruler slipped, I would make adjustments when I'm at the top of the semicircle where it's flattest. I'd just move my ruler a little over before I continued. But that looks pretty good. Now, I think I'm going to fill in this area with a shallower curve. And for that, I can just use the outside of the same template. I might prefer to fill this in with free motion quilting. But if you're not confident with free motion quilting, you can certainly do this, and it's going to give a similar look, a similar density to your quilting. It's a totally optional second step with this design. So let's go do something different again. I am just going to mark a line. I would never quilt along this cutting ruler. I'm just using it to mark a line. And now I'll use my multi-tool to quilt up to that area. And let's quilt a wave. So I'm using a different line on the semicircle rather than the halfway line. I'm just auditioning different shapes to see what I like. I think I like this line, so I'm going to quilt over and then under and then over and then under to create a wave. Now you can do shallow waves depending on the line you use. You can do deeper waves. Here's a shallower wave. And that is really great for feather plumes. You can also do a second pass using the same line, and that will create a line of petals. There are so many things you can do with rulers, and I really love the semicircles because there's so many possibilities. I think really great rulers can have many different uses. And when I teach, I always see people use my rulers in ways I didn't even think of, and that pleases me to no end. It's very inspiring. So now I'm going to put a little more quilting in here just by using the outside edge of the semicircle, and that measuring gauge just made a brief appearance. I designed that for Brewer as well. It helps you see that 1/4 inch. Because when you're doing ruler work, the ruler edge should always be a 1/4 of an inch away from the point that you want to hit with your quilting line. Because the ruler foot is probably 1/2 inch. My rulers are designed for feet that are 1/2 inch in diameter. I'm going to mark the center of this block just using my multi-tool. I happen to have that because I was filming with that today earlier. This is a 4-inch block, so we'll use the 4-inch semicircle ruler to fill the space. It says 4 inches at the edge of the ruler. Every semicircle has 2 measurements. One corresponds to the inner curve and one corresponds to the outer curve. I'm making sure that that intersection that I want to hit is a 1/4 inch away from the edge of my ruler. So there we go. Notice I stop halfway across and just make sure that my ruler is aligned well and has not slipped. Here, we'll use the outside of this semicircle, kind of disregarding the lines at this point, just to connect the corners of the square. This is a very, very popular motif when quilting. Maybe I want a deeper curve, so I switch to a smaller sized semicircle. It's always interesting to use the semicircles to layer curves on top of each other. You get really unexpected results, but they're always beautiful. Oh, I love that block. I didn't even plan that. Let's do something different in the final block. I'm going to mark the center. And I'll use just the flat edge of the semicircle to get over. And we'll try a similar design to the first using a different size of semicircle curve. So this time I really do need to stop in the center because I need to reposition my ruler. This is a bigger curve than the block I am using it on. So I'm stopping halfway, and what this is going to create is that same petal design but with thinner petals. Let's try something completely different. We'll do a medallion design. So I've already used my marking tools, and if you haven't seen those before, check them out. I've done a separate video on YouTube for marking tools to draw these spokes, and I'm going to be quilting a circle on every spoke. And this is a pretty large circle. I'm using a pretty large semicircle ruler, and I'm choosing to try to keep the line smooth when I come in and transition to another circle. I try not to go out the way I came in. I try to continue on, just because if I am imprecise at all, it kind of masks it. I've done enough to know this. And so this is pretty fun to create a blossom like this. And afterwards, I'm using the semicircles to create leaves around the blossom. You can subdivide circles with my marking tools, but you can also use them to draw big circles, so do check out that video. I'm going to give you another variation. You can quilt petals with semicircle rulers. And you do that by quilting, instead of half a circle, an arc. So I'm placing some of those dashed lines on the ruler over each spoke, and I'm very consistent with which lines I use. So this time I'm using a shallower line, and then I rotate the ruler and create the other half, and that creates kind of a leaf shape. Now I was thinking about coming back toward me, but that wouldn't be a good idea. I'm going to go to the other side, again trying to mask any mistakes I may make. Come in, and now I'll kind of go across the way. And I have to decide, do I want to put this leaf shape on every mark or every other mark? I use my 60-degree marking tool in this example, and so I'm quilting 6 petals. This motif would look really, really beautiful inside a hexagon. Okay, one more variation. I wanted to show you how you can switch semicircles as you quilt. So here I'm quilting leaves again. You can switch to another ruler and quilt a small circle and then move back to your big circle. And this is because you don't have to get inside the shape. I love my regular circle set. I can make pebbles super quickly, as well as a bunch of other designs. But when I'm looking to switch from a large circle to a small circle, the semicircles are ideal. I would say the circles and the semicircles, along with the straight line ruler, are the sets I use most of all in my studio. Maybe also every curve and every oval. But these sets are so flexible. So I hope you've enjoyed this video teaching you how to use semicircles set 1 and 2. You can find them at independent quilt shops or on my website.